Gentlemen, what if I told you that changing the world didn't require a massive platform or a pile of cash? And what if I told you that it only required a good heart? Today, I am talking to Bryan Driscoll. He went from a runaway teen with $200 in his pocket and no plan to be a man who built a life around one simple truth, that small acts of kindness can create a massive change. And he calls it the goodness game. And in this episode, you are going to learn how to spot your helping style, how to turn service into a weekly family habit, and how small, consistent actions can ripple through your home and into your community. Gentlemen, this one will hit you in the heart, no doubt about it. So let's dive in, and let's dive into the goodness game with Bryan Driscoll. What if changing the world didn't mean that you had to have millions of dollars? You actually don't need a viral post, and you don't need tons of followers. All you need is a good heart and find out what your helping style is all about. Gentlemen, my guest today is living proof that goodness scales. Gentlemen, my name is Larry Hagner. I am the founder of the Dad Edge podcast. I'm also the founder of the Dad Edge Alliance. That's our mastermind or community for career men out there who do not want to settle for a mediocre marriage or a mediocre connection with their kids. I'm also the founder of the Dad Edge Business Boardroom Brotherhood. That's for our business owners out there, for all of our business owners out there who are scaling and creating businesses and they do not want to leave their marriage in the dust and they want to create an incredible connection with their kids. Today, I am joined by Bryan Driscoll. He is an entrepreneur. He is an author and an everyday optimist who has built his life on one simple truth. Small acts of kindness can spark massive change. He was a runaway, actually, as a teen, living in and out of motels with $200 in his pocket at one time, to building a thriving business and leading a life anchored in service. Bryan's story is what happens when gratitude meets action, and he is also the creator of the goodness game. And this is a movement of helping others into a habit. Whether it's handing out umbrellas in the rain or helping out someone to buy a used car, Bryan's mission is to remind us that small acts of kindness done with the right heart can leave the biggest impression. So today, we're going to find out a lot of really cool things. We're going to learn how can we help, what's our helping style, and we're actually going to make a game out of it. Bryan, what's up, man? Welcome to Dad Edge.
What's up, Larry? Thanks for having me, man.
Dude, okay, first of all, I have to go back and just ask this first question. You ran away from home. Why'd you run away from home?
You know what? I don't remember the specific reason. Me and my parents always butted heads, right? And I was a troublemaker when I was a kid. And I just remember, hey, I was like pissed off, went down to the Greyhound station in Pittsburgh, took the next bus leaving.
Just like that?
Just like that. Stupid kid, you know?
So what's the relationship with your parents now?
That's pretty good. We have a good relationship now. My mom, she says I gave her all the gray hairs on her head.
Oh my gosh, man. So how old are you now?
I'm 45.
Wow. So you've been out for like 25 plus years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And you've never been back home since?
No, I'm back in Pittsburgh now.
No, I mean with your parents.
No. Yeah. I never moved back. Yeah. I've been on my own.
Wow. I mean, $200 in your pocket? Like how far did you think that was going to get you?
I don't know. It took me to Orlando.
What happened when you got there? Where you're like, okay, I guess I'm here to stay.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know what? It's weird too because you think, okay, I'm moving. You're a young kid. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go get a job. I'm living at a freaking Days Inn. Like, how do you? Like, I found out when I went to get an application, you don't have an address. This was before cell phones. It's like you don't have a phone number. So it's a little bit more involved than I thought. I thought I was just gonna go get a job at a Publix or something, you know.
Oh my gosh, man. So what was in Orlando?
That was the next bus. I literally went and took the next bus that was leaving Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, because I was going to get cold feet otherwise. I'm like, hey, give me the next bus out of here.
Oh my gosh. So you're like, what's the next bus? When is it leaving? Where is it going? That's my bus?
Yep.
Oh my God. What did you do when you got there?
So I got there. It was late at night. Luckily there was a couple on the bus on like the last stretch. I don't know. Did you ever ride the Greyhound before?
Yeah, I actually have.
Okay. So, like you're going to all these different stops and it's you meet some characters, but there was a couple on the last leg It was late and they're like, hey, where you going? I'm like, I don't know. They took me back to their place and let me call around to find a motel. It ended up being a Days Inn. So, cause we had to pull out the yellow pages and everything. It's like, not like today. You don't have Ubers, you don't have cell phones or anything.
My gosh. Were they like, what are you doing leaving? Were they asking any questions or?
I don't even remember. All I remember is they took me back and I remember they had a yellow rotary phone. We're sitting there calling around and they dropped me off and I was off, you know?
Oh my gosh. That is wild. That is wild. So you stayed at the Days Inn?
Yeah, stayed at the Days Inn. Money started running out. I'm like, crap, I need to get a job. So I went to the Publix and I couldn't, like, he's like, dude, number one, we can't pay you for a couple weeks. And like, I didn't have an address or phone number or anything. So I ended up finding, do you ever hear of a job labor pool?
No, I haven't.
So it's those places, like you see them on movies and stuff. You just show up in the morning and contractors come and just pick people out of the crowd and they're looking for laborers. So I found one of those in Florida. I went there started working there for $25 a day.
What did you do?
Carried scaffolding all day long. I'm pretty sure I was working at the Animal Kingdom. So we're working on this fake tree, carrying scaffolding across a parking lot. And Animal Kingdom was built then too. So I'm pretty sure that's where I was.
My gosh, man, that is just wild. But like, so $25 a day. What was the daily rate of the Days Inn?
It was $25.
Oh, so you were like, how did you eat?
You know what? I was good until I wasn't. And then my idea was, I'm going to go back to the Greyhound station and sleep for the night to like reset my $25 because I was eating a Wendy's junior bacon hamburger every day, like 69 cents. So that's what I was doing. And when I got down to that, it's like, I don't need more money. So I'm just going to go crash at the Greyhound station for the night, save $25, and then I'm back on top, you know?
How long did you do this for?
I did it. Well, when I was going to the Greyhound station, some lady picked me up, luckily. So a lady picked me up on the side of the road. I was just walking. She's like, hey, it doesn't look like you belong here. Picked me up, took me back to her place and put me up for a couple days. Crazy, right?
Okay. So how old was this lady?
She was an adult. She was probably like, her son was in the car. He was an adult. I don't know. She was probably like 50, something like that. Maybe 60.
A random 50, 60-year-old woman pulls over and allows you to stay at her house?
Yeah.
Oh, like that's like, my gosh. I mean, that takes bravery. It's like a ton of, so what happened next?
Yeah. I didn't even think anything of it at the time either. Like looking back now, I'm like, I had an angel looking out for me there. Cause that's like where a story can go sideways. You go to the Greyhound station, then you end up being homeless.
Yeah.
And then you go like really far. But she let me stay with him for a couple of days. I remember they had a horse and they had a humongous cat in like a normal size house. It's all I can kind of remember from them, but she let me stay with them, got me a job. Her husband worked in the hotel industry. I think it was the Marriott down there, spotted me a couple $100. And then I ended up coming back to Pittsburgh. So I only stayed down there for a short stint after I stayed with her, probably a couple weeks, maybe.
So what happened when you got back to Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, I just came back like nothing happened and like just kept rolling with life.
But you were still moved out.
Yeah, I was still moved out. Came back, getting in trouble, got a job, alcohol, all that kind of stuff you're doing at those young ages, you know.
So like, did you have contact with your parents at this point?
Yeah, so I had contact with my parents from Orlando. Actually, the lady made contact with my parents that I stayed with. And yeah, I ended up coming back. Like she ended up making contact with my parents. Then there was, one of the reasons I came back was there was a hurricane down there in Fort Lauderdale at the time, down in Pompano Beach. My uncle lived there. So my mom talked me into going and helping him out and then coming back to Pittsburgh.
So, but you didn't move back home.
No, I might have moved back a little teeny bit then. I don't think so though. Cause I didn't really go back to my parents.
So where did you stay?
I just had I just buddies. I crashed with one of my buddies. We just split the rent and everything.
My gosh. But I imagine you got work when you got back to Pittsburgh. Were you landed?
Yeah. I've had a lot of jobs. I used to bounce jobs when I was younger. So I used to always pick up the job, delivering pizza, restaurants, that kind of stuff, you know?
My gosh, man. Okay. So then, but was it this lady that actually sparked the kindness?
It was. So she spotted me a couple $100 and put me up. So I stayed in her place. Then she put me up for a couple nights when I was getting on my feet, and I came back to Pittsburgh and I never paid her back. And I didn't even think to pay her back for years until I started making money. And by that time I lost her. I don't have her info. Like I don't know how to contact her. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Cause I feel guilty. You know what I mean? Saw the movie Pay It Forward. I'm like, well, that's what I'm going to do. You ever see the movie Pay It Forward?
I love movies. I've never seen that. Remind me I remember the movie, but I can't remember who's in it though.
Yeah, it has, there's a kid. I don't know his name. The whole premise of the movie is a teacher. What's that guy's name? Kaiser Soze. He played Kaiser Soze.
Oh, Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey was in it. But what the teacher's job is, he gives a instruction or like a homework assignment for the class. They're young. It's like, hey, I need your goal this year is to create something that changes the world for the positive. It's like an impossible goal, right? But the kid comes up and he's like, and by the end of the year, he's like, hey, you know what? I came up with something called Pay It Forward. What that is I'm going to do someone a favor. Instead of them paying me back, I want them to pay it forward and help 3 additional people. And then those people help 3 additional people and it compounds really fast. So that was the premise of the movie. I'm like, well, I can't pay this lady back. I can do that though. So I just kind of started doing that to make myself not feel bad.
Wow, man. Yeah, Kevin Spacey, Helen Hunt, Haley Joel Osment, the kid from The Sixth Sense. Even Bon Jovi was in this movie.
Yeah, it's an older one. You should watch it. It's really good.
You know, I probably should. I mean, I know Kevin Spacey doesn't have the best press anymore, but he was a good actor back in the day. But yeah, I would definitely check this out. It's funny, I remember it, but I never saw it.
Right.
So this random act of kindness sparked by this lady who, 56-year-old woman with her adult son, picks you up, looks like you shouldn't be here, allows you to stay at her house for a few days, contacts your parents. You go back home. That's what kind of sparks this kindness. You never see or hear of her again. So you go out and create like this random acts of kindness on steroids. Like this is really inspired by her. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. She's the person. Like that specific moment, I look back, I'm like, okay, number one, who picks someone up on the side of the road? I'm like, I think things happen for reasons sometimes. I'm like, okay, you picked me up because I'm not supposed to be doing that. And yeah, it sparked something inside of me.
Wow. And so like, let me ask you this. If you were standing in front of her right now, let's just go on this quick little journey together. You guys got reunited, right? And you were standing in front of her right now. What would you tell her from your heart?
I'd probably just give her a big hug. Like, I don't even know. I'd probably just give her a big hug.
I mean, the thing is, man, is like the story I'm telling myself is this whole movement, you writing a best-selling book on Amazon, you gamifying this, you helping hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking like, how cool would it be to reunite with this woman and just tell her like this big movement was sparked from her. Like, I mean, God only knows if she's still alive, but I mean, what a beautiful gift to give that woman.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, because she, like what I think from her point of view is, hey, I helped some kid out and he ripped me off for $300. So it's like your perspective on what really happens in the world too is different than what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like her impact on me, I don't think she'll ever know. But looking at it from her side, I always figure, I'm like, hey, I just helped some kid out. I did some good, lost a couple $100 and that was it,
Wow, man. So do you remember your first random act of kindness that you ever did?
No.
Because you forget it, because that's part of the rules.
Yeah, I kind of just do it. Yeah, I literally don't forget. I just figure it's like, that's my thing I'm supposed to do,
So talk to me about how long have you been doing this?
Ever since I was like 18. Probably, I like helping people. Like I'm just a helper by nature anyways. But ever since then, I've just been like randomly helping people.
So, and then you wrote a book about this.
Yep.
So give us the premise of the book. I know that there are rules for it. I mean, there's even a self-discovery for it as well to find out what kind of helper you are, like what your strengths are. And which I think is fascinating. Because that obviously gives people some pretty good direction on, helping people, but it's also probably the work that makes them come to life.
Right.
Yeah. So tell me about these rules.
Yeah. So the whole premise of the book is like, I think small things can make a difference. And I kind of proved it, you know what I mean? But I'm like, okay, how can you show people that it's the small things, you know? And for me, like I used to help people. I still do help people all the time, but I'd help people with everything. It's like, okay, I'll help you cut your grass. Whatever pops up. Hey, I'm your guy. Sometimes to like the negative on me, you know what I mean? It's like I would give too much or overstep, things like that. So I kind of looked at it and it's like, okay, what's the positive things here? What have I learned? And like the first thing, one of the things I learned is it's like, find out what you're built for. It's like if you're in business, you know, you got like, maybe you're an analyzer. You're supposed to be doing books. Maybe you're a sales guy, things like that. It's like, okay, I'm looking at this also. It's like, what am I built for? Am I a financial helper? Am I a sweat helper? Am I an empathetic helper? And it's like, figure out what you're built for, because then it's not really work. If that makes sense.
That definitely makes sense. I mean, because, yeah, I mean, I think of ways when we first started talking, I started thinking of ways that I can help people and other ways where I'm just like, I am not the guy for that. So
Right.
it's probably, I guess, really important to know, like, what are my strengths when it comes to this?
Yeah, it is. It's big time. Like for one example is, there's a homeless, people I know that deal with the homeless in Pittsburgh, and they needed help with their social media. I'm like, that's right up my alley. I'm a marketer, but I'm not the guy to do a lot of other things in an organization. You know what I mean? So it's like, once you find that out, you'll find where you fit.
That's amazing, man. And then you've got 3 boys, right? 13,
Yeah.
11, and 10,
Yep.
almost Irish twins,
Right. In the thick of it.
15 months apart. So, you know, and by the way, like I have 4 boys and, you know, I'm obviously real familiar with that age range. I mean, that's a very busy age range. Like kids are usually pretty darn busy. I'm guessing your boys are probably into other activities. Like it's managing 3 different schedules and activities and everything they have going on.
Yeah. You know what? Funny. They're not really into the sports. They're more into like the tech and everything, or chess club, stuff like that. It's a handful though. Like even just trying to keep them on the straight and narrow too. You know what I mean? Like they're getting into puberty, all that kind of stuff. Emotions are flying. So, I mean, all the dads know.
Oh, we know. Plus you're a business owner. Plus you've been married for over a decade.
Right.
So a lot of things happening. Guys, just a quick pause here because Bryan is reminding us that we cannot pour from an empty cup. And that is true in every single area of our lives. This is why I've partnered with my friends over at First Form. Their supplements, they are not about vanity. They are about focus. They are about energy and fueling our body so we can serve our family and lead with strength. Whether it's their level 1 protein or their microfactor packs, these are the same tools that I use every single day. Make sure you guys check out our link. Go to firstform.com/dadedge. That's 1stphorm.com/dadedge. If you use that link, any orders over $100, you will get free shipping. Any orders over $200, you'll get a really cool free mystery First Form t-shirt in the mail. And if you spend over $300, they're going to throw in something else for you guys too. They are so generous over there. If you use our link, those are the goodies that you're going to get. Gentlemen, let's continue to pour from a cup that is healthy and full. All right, back to my show. I think a lot of people out there would probably be like, man, I don't have a whole lot of time or a whole lot to give. Like, so I think giving obviously for most of us comes last. Like it's more like the leftovers. But the sense I get from you is this is something that should be priority, or it is a priority.
Well, it is. And think about this. It's like super small things. Say when you're sitting in traffic, have you ever been sitting in traffic and you're trying to cut in, like you're the guy that's cutting in at the front, you're like a little anxious and the guy over there is like, I'm not letting this dude in. It's even things like that. Like let the guy in front of you. Like you don't know where he's going. You don't know what he's dealing with. Maybe that anxiety drops a little bit. Maybe he's nicer to his wife when he goes home or something like that. So it's just like really small things that like change. It's like if you're kind to someone, if you don't know if someone's coming from a funeral, if they're going to the hospital, like anything like that, like open a door for someone, say hi, how you doing? You know what I mean? Just like super small things. Those aren't big lifts at all.
Do you notice that? Like what's the range in receptiveness when you help somebody? Because I'm sure that there's some people out there that are just like, oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like you just made my whole day. You just made my whole week. Oh my gosh, that's amazing, right? And then there are other people that like don't even want it, or it might just completely brush you off.
Yeah, I'd say it's broad, like you're saying. Like some people are like, you know what, that made a huge difference in my life, and then some people are like, hey, thanks, and then you're right. Some people don't want help. You know, especially like I said, like we do stuff with the homeless. A lot of the homeless people don't want help with certain things. Someone was taking something up the steps the other day, one of their bags. I'm like, hey, I'll give you a hand with that. Like, nope, I got it. So it's like a whole range of different types of people. So you don't want to force yourself on them either. You know what I mean?
Does that ever deter you, or you just know it's a reaction that is a potential that you'll get?
Now, my dad taught me a long time. We were giving money out. Like there's a guy on the side of the street, and everyone's like, "Hey, what if they're doing drugs? Or what if this?" And he said, you know what? You give them money. If they're on the side of the street, they're worse off than you, and what they do with it is none of your business. You can do what you can, and then that's where it stops. You know what I mean? Like if it helps them, good, and if not, you did what you could do to try to make someone's life better.
I like that idea. Can I share an experience with you that it's so in October I went to Las Vegas for a podcast interview, and every time I go somewhere I usually try to bring like one of my kids with me, or I bring my wife with me just to get some one-on-one time. And me and my son spent we were there for 3 days. I only had to be there for one, but we were there for 2 days just having some fun. And we saw the Blue Man Group. We saw David Copperfield. We kind of saw the sights, and we did obviously the family friendly stuff. But it was the first day that we were there, and first thing I did is I got in the shower when we get there and freshened up because we were going to go out and I think grab dinner and do Blue Man Group. And I come out and my 9-year-old son is sitting on the bed with that pad of paper that you have like in the hotels, and he was writing. And I was like, "What are you writing?" And he's like, "Notes." And I was like, "Notes about what?" And he's like, "Just nice notes." And I'm like, "Nice notes." I was like, "Nice notes for what?" And he goes, "For people." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he handed me over the notes, and it was a variety of things that said, "Have a nice day," or it said, "Have a nice night." I know. I was like, "Have a nice day." And it was like total, like I did a video of it and took photos of it. And I was like, "Who are these for?" He goes, "People that need them." I was like, I was just totally confused. I was like, "Who? Like, what people? Like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "There's a lot of people here that I noticed I don't think they're having a good day." I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, so like basically he was people watching as we were walking through Vegas. And I was like, "Well, what are you going to do with these?" He's like, "I'm going to give them to people that I think need them." And I was like, I was just floored. I was like, "Are you serious?" I'd never seen him do this before. And I was like, "Okay, cool." So he got like 13 notes the first night we go out, and he starts handing them out to like the housekeepers and like people behind the front desk, or like the host, or like just a random person on the street. And these people just like completely lit up. I was just like, "Oh my gosh." And then I started taking photos of him giving these notes to people. And there was one there out of all the notes he gave out, he probably gave out, I don't know, 35 over the past like 3 days. And one woman in particular, he went up to, she's kind of an older lady, and he went to hand her the note, and she just completely brushed him off. She was like, "No." And he's like, "But this is for you." And she's going, "I don't want it." She had no idea what it even was. I think she probably thought like I was like, "Go ahead, go up to this lady. We'll try to scam her." I don't know. But he was like devastated. Like he was so hurt. And I go,
Really?
"Yeah." And I put my arm around him, and I was like, he's like, "She didn't want that." I was like, "Buddy," I was like, "This is such a good life lesson for you right now." I was like, because you have been giving out these notes to people who need them, and most people light up. I was like, there are going to be people though that quite frankly just don't accept kindness. I was like, I'd never, ever, ever, ever allow that to stop you from showing yours, no matter what. And, but still, like, he kind of saw his heart break a little bit. But that's why I was more curious about like, what do you do in those situations? But I love that aspect of like, hey, you've done your part. You know, you've helped someone. What they do with that help, or what they do with that is, it's up to them.
How old is he?
He's 9.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think made him do that? Like, that's an interesting thing.
I wish I knew, to be honest. He's never done anything like that before. Not on trips. I do know one of his love languages is words of affirmation, because he loves when I put notes in his lunch or on his bed or something like that. And just something for him to find. So I think for him, like, I think he might be giving the love, the thing that he loves most to others. That's the only thing I can possibly think of. Otherwise, I didn't want to ask too many deep questions about it, other than just basically give him tons of gratitude and attaboys for doing it, versus like going deep and exploring like what made you do this? I'm curious to know that, but I didn't broach that yet.
Yeah. And that's really interesting because that's like a small thing. It's like something that most people wouldn't think to do. And the recipients, it's a piece of paper, but they're like, hey, someone cares. Someone sees me or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, like this, it's kind of timely, like how we're having this conversation, because I just experienced this firsthand myself. And I came home and I told my wife, and I was like, this was really a pretty unbelievable experience, I think, for me as well, just to see, like, because I got to see it from the third person. I got to watch as he would go up to people and then their reaction, and just see like what it was like. One girl in particular handed him a drawing that she drew of like all these like really cool like Halloween type things, and you could tell like she put a lot of work into it, but she gave it to him. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But I'm curious with your boys, 13, 11, and 10. When did you start them with this kind of stuff?
You know what? I think they kind of just, in the beginning, like when they were younger, just saw me doing things, and it's interesting. I got invited to a kindness festival. I never knew these things were here last year. Someone in Cleveland invited me. They're like, hey, we have a kindness festival. You want to come? Like, yeah, sure, whatever. I didn't know anything about it. But same thing. My son he was 9 then, and he was collecting smiles. I'm like, what do you mean? He had a piece of paper with the stick numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm collecting smiles for the day. So it's like they pick up with weird things like that. You know what I mean? Like things you don't think about. But I think, like, obviously my kids wrote a book. They know what the rules are, that kind of stuff. But I think they just being around you learn like those types of things. You know what I mean?
Best lessons are caught, not taught.
Right.
Yeah. Caught, not taught. What about, I'm curious, one of your very first rule for this is to basically not remember how you've helped people. Like it's almost, I don't know if you're a faith-based guy, but I am, but it reminded me it reminded me of, Jesus saying, never know what, I think he said the left hand, what the right hand is doing. Right. So
right.
Don't cast a spotlight on what you're doing to help people. But, for kids, I would think that that's probably a big one because they kind of do want that recognition, of helping.
Yeah. I am faith-based too. And I kind of look at it as there's different ways you can give, right? So you can give and nobody knows, like not even a recipient. You know what I mean? Like you just help somebody from afar. They don't even know who you are or anything like that. So like, okay, that's the purest way to give, right? And then you can give and and the recipient knows like what happened. Like say, for example, your son, he gave the people, they know who he is. He knows who they are. They get to feel good about it. Right. And then the third way, which I see some people do, which is fine. It's just not my cup of tea. It's like you do something and then you brag about it all over the place. Like, hey, look at me. So the first rule is basically like help people from the kindness of your heart, not what you're going to get back from it. Basically what it is. I call it give without remembering. So give without remembering, you're going to remember, like you know what you're doing, but it's like you want to have in your head, I'm trying to help this person for no other reason other than to help them. I'm not looking for, people to say, hey, great job, that kind of stuff. It's like, you're just doing it to do it, Yeah.
It reminds me of the movie, Patch Adams, where like his entire life became about service to others. Instead of, and connecting with people and helping people, and just how many lives like he brightened up, and he gave without really wanting anything in return. And he was, if you look at even Robin Williams, I actually ran into the real Patch Adams in the Chicago airport like 10 years ago, and you can't miss him if you know what he looks like in real life. But, one of the most kind individuals I've ever met in my life. And I'm sure like, he's walking around with like a clown hat on, no kidding around, and clown shoes. And he's got long hair and a stethoscope. You know exactly who that guy is,
right.
Your movie. And, but who he is, who he was portrayed in that movie for the time that I met him, which was quickly, it was like the same guy. It was unbelievable. But you also in this book, which I think is fascinating, you talk about understanding and what kind of helper you are, actually discovering what kind of helper you are. I want you to talk about that too.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Like that's probably one of the most important things like, for example, your son, he likes, he has an idea. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go make notes and hand them to people. And I was thinking, like, over the years, it's like, okay, I like doing some things and I dread doing other things. And you're helping people regardless, right? And I started thinking about that. And then when I got into business, I kind of learned more about it, because in business, you can do something that's called like an energy audit. It's like you write down everything you do for a week. One side of the paper gives you energy. The other side, you write down the things that take your energy away. And in business, everything that takes my energy away, I want to hire someone else and delegate that and not touch it, right? So I was thinking about this though, in the real world, like not business owners, it's like everyone has their things. So it's like, okay, write down not the things you're doing in business, just like all your stuff, cutting your grass, doing your lawn, cleaning your house, whatever you're doing, write down the things you like doing. Like some people love cleaning their house. I freaking hate it. My wife works with special needs kids at school, and like that wouldn't be my cup of tea either. You know what I mean? But it's like everyone has their thing. So you write down what gives you energy. Like you could do it all day long. At the end of the day, you're still pumped. That's going to show you like what your helping style is. Like the things on that side of the page are the things you want to be helping with. The things on that takes energy away, avoid them if you can. Like sometimes you got to do them anyways, but like kind of be intentional on what you're doing.
So like for instance, you used an example when you first got started with this, you wanted to kind of help everybody with everything, right? And then you figured out that was not the way to go.
Right.
Yeah. What did you discover about saying yes to the things that were maybe more energy drainers to you?
Well, I found, I remember my buddy told me a long time ago, he was in business. This was before I like got success, like made it, right? And I used to give money away, and at the end of the month, I'd be strapped for cash. He's like, dude, you have to help yourself to be able to help other people. So I learned some balance there too. But like that's kind of things like doing that. Sometimes I'd get set up in situations that I'm like, boy, I just committed to something here and I don't know how to get out of it now. And I don't like doing this. Like, it just isn't my thing either. You know what I mean? So I just started learning. It's like, you can't say yes to everything. You have to be intentional. From my opinion, you know what I mean?
So what were some of the things that you were doing early on that you found you're just like, man, I was obviously one, giving away too much money, but what about the service aspect?
Service aspect, I noticed sometimes too, like I would overstep boundaries. So I'm a digital marketer, right? And I'd be like, hey, Larry, let me take a look at your stuff. Like we'd be talking. It's like, hey, let me take a look at your stuff and I'll show you like some tips. But then I'd take it a step further. I'm like, hey, Larry, how about, let me get you some ads made. And then let me run a campaign for you real quick. And I'm not charging anything for it. And by that time, it's like, you're too commingled now that you kind of you kind of created a business relationship that doesn't have any money involved with it. And you're into somebody else's business. Like I would find myself like getting too involved with some things, overstepping boundaries, I guess you could call it. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Cause now I'm in the thick of someone's stuff that I shouldn't even be involved. I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like you want to find out how you can help people, but not take it too far. If that makes sense. I don't know. It's a little scattered there.
So it's like, so for the service aspect, it's like maybe more like creating boundaries.
Creating boundaries. And then also just balance too. So with service, it's like, how much time do you have a week that you can give? Because if you're going to help people, it's like, okay, I'm pulling the time from somewhere. Am I pulling it from Netflix? Am I pulling it on Sunday for 2 hours? Or where am I pulling it from? And then, okay, then in your head, it's like, I got 3 hours on Sunday. I can go feed the homeless, or I can go do this, or I can 2 days a week, I can take 30 minutes and deliver Meals on Wheels. And in your head, you kind of intentionally think about that also. It's like, these are my boundaries and these are my limits on what I can do. And then you kind of do that too, because you got to worry about burning out and everything too. You know, like you get involved in some things. It's like, it's really easy to get wrapped up in, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this too? And then you're like overwhelmed.
That makes total sense. Yeah. As far as like I think about this as in like, especially guys, right? I think guys have a hard time with no, because we want to I think that comes from like a super genuine place in men, you know, because men, we want to provide, we want to protect, we want to do those things, we want to help, we want to problem solve. And sometimes I think you're right that we kind of, we sort of sway to one side of the pendulum a bit too far. And there's like, really nothing left over for us.
Right.
You've known your wife you guys have been married for over a decade. How long you guys known each other for?
Before we got married,
Yeah.
like a year.
Okay. So she knew you when you were doing this, like when you were kind of in the heat of it?
Yeah, shit. Well, actually, I met my wife and I had a kid in 30 days. Well, I didn't have the kid in 30 days, but you know what I mean? Like
That's a very fast pregnancy.
right. So there's a whole nother story. I met my wife. Luckily, we get along really well. You know what I mean? But it was like a super fast type of thing. But yeah, she sees how I roll, and it wasn't really a thing. Like, it's not a thing that I was like drawing attention to. It's just how I just happen to live. You know what I mean?
It's who you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might be who you are, but it's not the quote unquote norm. So you're
Right.
still an outlier, I think, compared to most people. But was this something that she was really attracted to, or maybe took her by surprise or intrigued by it? Like, what was her response by why are you helping all these people?
I don't think there was. It's not like I draw attention to helping people. You know what I mean? It's like I just do stuff. Like, it's like if you're walking down the road, somebody needs some money, you just walk over and you give them money, you keep going. So it's not like there was really, like, she sees nice things, but it's like most of the things, like, my wife doesn't even know half the stuff that I do. I just do it.
Obviously, though, that's not the norm. Like 100 people will walk past a homeless person, and maybe one person will give them money.
Right.
You know, so it's like,
yeah,
it's still rare, right? So like, I mean, whether she may or may not notice it, I mean, I have to think that she really notices it, though.
yeah,
It's part of who you are.
yeah, she notices it like as my core. You know what I mean? Like, but we never really talked, especially back then. We were just trying to figure out life. Like, we never really talked about that stuff. You know?
Have you ever so with the boys, what are just in how they operate? Let's just are they like in the public school system?
Yeah, I have, well, two of them they were in public school. I switched them to private school, and my middle son, effective this Thursday, is going back to public school.
Okay. So do they do this type of kindness stuff at school?
Not really at school, but they catch some things, and some things I noticed too. I'm like, hey, we got to like put a limit on this. For example, like neighbors might be out selling lemonade. My kids went out and gave them $40. Like, what are you doing, man? Like he's like, oh, I was just helping him out. You know, I'm like, well, there's a difference from helping someone in need versus like just throwing money around, you know?
Right, right.
But yeah, they I'm sure they do, like, cause they're really kind kids, but I also don't know half the stuff they're doing, you know? They don't really tell me about it, but I know like especially my middle kid is super, not sensitive is probably not the right word, but like, he's really like, he feels it for people, and he's always trying to go above and beyond to help people out.
It's always the second born, man. It's like they got like that softened heart for some reason. It's like they're super empathetic, more sensitive kids for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is really cool, man. What so going back to the book though, like how do you write an entire book on this? Like tell us more about how the book is laid out for when people go grab it, they know what to expect.
Yeah, sure. So in the beginning of the book, I go into the story about the lady that helped me out down in Florida. And then after that, I talk about, because I wanted to prove the monolake, do small acts make a big difference. So I talk about the thing I did in Chicago that we did a trip to try to prove it. And then it just goes into the roles. It's like, okay, here are the roles. Here's the framework. Here's how you can find out how you're built, like how to make it work for you, because it's kind of like a fluid game. It's not like a game that's like rigid, like a board game. It's like, okay, find out what you're built for. And then, hey, maybe here's some ideas for you. And here's some ideas you can use to come up with your own ideas. And then just go out and do it.
And then there's no point system or anything like that. It's the book is called The Game because there's rules. And then there's obviously a way of operating.
Yeah, there's a point system, like a scorecard. So we came up with two different ways to keep score. Some people just want to journal about it, right? They don't want to keep score, but it's like, okay, you can write it down. And then there's also, I have a an Excel sheet template where you can put, okay, what did you do? How much energy did it take from you, say on a 1 to 10 scale? How many people were affected and how do you feel? like afterwards. And it's not necessarily like a score, like, hey, we're trying to get to a certain number, but it's more like a, kind of like a mood tracker type of thing. It's like, okay, I did this. It took, say, a 2 energy out of 10. Like, say, buying someone coffee, that takes a 1, right? Or even your son, when he was making notes, that's probably like a 4 energy or 5 energy or something. Like, he's out there doing it. But then how did he feel afterwards also? Because you get a byproduct, like, he had to be smiling ear to ear, like when he was doing that. So it's like, but you can track that for yourself too, because, I was talking with someone a long time ago, said it's really hard to be depressed when you're helping other people. And your body creates oxytocin and like different chemicals that make you feel better. So you kind of like track that just so you're seeing what's happening,
I love that, man. I'll tell you, in a world that we live in now, man, this is needed. Like it really, really is needed, and I'm not saying that because of political purposes. I'm not saying that because of like, it's just, the world's always needed it. Always, for as long as we've been around, that this is the kind of kindness that we need in the world. When, what types of, I noticed your website has like all kinds of testimonials on there from people who have done this, but what are some of the things that, like, what are some of the themes that have come back as far as like people doing this and just what are they feeling? I mean, I think you just described it. People have obviously really great feelings when they're doing the act of kindness, when, it's hard to be angry or sad when you're helping somebody else out. What have you noticed about this though, for people who have done it long term?
I've noticed a different, like in their, it's like a purpose. Like you can tell they have a purpose. It's like they ingrain it in their life. Then it's like, okay, this is just who I am. I help other people, and you can tell they feel good about it, and it's just a way of life. You know what I mean?
Why do you keep doing this though? Like, what motivates you doing this?
I don't know. I got some issues, I think. I'm not quite sure. It's just like a feel like this is my purpose to do. Cause it's not like I make any money on it. You know what I mean? Like, even I give the books away for free. I don't really sell them. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, I feel that it's my obligation. Like, I have a skill set to inspire other people. And I think that by me doing this, it has a trickle effect where I don't know where it will go or anything, but in a positive direction. So it's like, I just feel like it's my calling to do it.
It's your purpose.
Right.
Yeah, it's your purpose. I love it. It's kind of like lead from the front.
Right.
I love that. So your mom and dad, are they still with us?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does mom and dad think of all this, compared to Bryan, 18 years old, gets on a Greyhound bus with $200 in his pocket, heads down to Orlando, and then stranger calls mom and dad, hey, I have your son at the house. Sounds like a hostage negotiation at that point. Move back, you start doing all these amazing things. What are some of the things they've shared with you over the years?
So my mom said, well, number one, she would never want to go back through my childhood again. She said, I can only do that once. Cause I used to get a lot of trouble. Right. But she's like, yeah,
real quick. You come across me as like such a good dude. Like, how bad were you? What'd you do?
We used to do stupid stuff, man. Like all alcohol. Like, if anyone's listening, alcohol is freaking horrible, but like through my 18 to like 26 years old, we'd be going out black and night, driving cars, knuckleheads, all kinds of stuff, shooting out street lights, just like stupid stuff,
Did you get caught doing that stuff?
Some of it.
Well, we won't incriminate you here. So, but going back, I mean, to what they've been saying over the years, like what have they been saying?
Yeah. So like back then, my mom was like, oh boy, that was really tough. She's like, you know what? I'm really proud how you turned out, because it could have went 2 different directions. You know what I mean? So, which is cool. And I did turn out pretty good. It's like, I think a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs too, like, or people that make it to be entrepreneurs, it's like, you can either go down a road of like, say, dealing drugs, or you can sell t-shirts or something. It's like you're built for business. You're built to see things happen. It just depends on how do you use those skills that you have. Can you use them for positive or negative? Luckily I figured out how to use them for business.
Yeah. You've really channeled like your energy into what it sounds like the right pathways.
Yeah.
What is just as we wrap up here, what is the big vision for this?
My big vision is just to have, like, it's weird because I can't see it. It's like, my vision is so I can do things and have it keep going. So I know there's somebody out there, I don't know who they are, that had a difference made by an action that I took in their life. So it's like, my goal is to help someone, to maybe inspire them to do something for someone else. And then that person does something huge for someone that, like, makes a difference, and do that at scale. Like, to just, I figure if you do it consistently, it's going to happen eventually, or you die before it does, it's like one of the two.
I think about this as like, a pebble that you throw out into like a pond, it just has this beautiful ripple effect. And, I don't think any of us will ever know like how vast this thing, goes, I guess for lack of a better word, goes viral, right? I mean, because I'm sure it already has, we just don't know about it. Like, God only knows like the dominoes that you have pushed forward that has created momentum in other people's lives, but I'm, the truth or the story I'm telling myself though is, you'll find out one day.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'd want, see, that's the cool thing. I don't even, cause I get to imagine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and I feel awkward whenever, like, if I see someone that, like, cause sometimes it'll pop up. It's like, hey, that's the guy you helped. I feel awkward, I don't want any attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that kind,
I even love that approach more than anything, because you're not doing this for anything more than just to do it, right? For the goodwill in it, not for the recognition, not for the kudos, not for the attaboys. And you know what? I think one of the really cool things too is that you're teaching your boys that, hey, a random act of kindness is actually a part of life. It's not something that you need a spotlight, a recognition, a trophy, a medal, or an award for, right? This is just actually how we live. What you're doing, Bryan, is you're normalizing kindness as not being something abnormal, right? To where, like, I saw people, like, when I was with my son, like, my son would hand over a note and you see like a reaction from someone really leery and questioning, like, what is this? What is this bad news? Like, what does it say? Or is this kid trying to sell me something? And then as soon as they read it, they're like, oh,
yeah,
okay, cool. Right. So I love that, man. Well, I want to make sure the audience could find you. I know your book is on Amazon, but you've got a heck of a website too, which is really, really cool. Which, by the way, I'm not sure who did your website, but it's the colors and the graphics and everything. I really, really like it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
Yeah, just go to goodnessgame.com.
Yeah, guys, go check that out. You'll hear Bryan's story. There's a couple YouTube videos on it, all about him, all about the book, testimonials of people and some of the things that they've experienced by doing this. But I'll tell you, man, if there's anything that we could make more contagious right now, it's this goodness game. So, dude, you've done so well. Like, what a really cool thing to do.
Hey, appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're gonna have all links in the show notes for you. Not to worry. Gentlemen, that's all we got time for today. Thank you so much for tuning into the Dad Edge podcast with my friend Bryan Driscoll. Make sure you check out the show notes. Make sure you check out all of his resources and his book and the goodness game. I mean, this is really, really cool stuff. I'll also have a link for First Form in there for you guys who are wanting to order your supplements for the month. Keep in mind, this is the silly season. This is Thanksgiving. This is where every single United States American gains an average of 12 pounds in between now and the end of the year. So let's keep our health in check. Make sure you grab that First Form link. Make sure you guys get some good stuff from First Form. Keep yourself healthy. Keep yourself mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, and physically healthy. Head on over to thedadedge.com/1405 for this show. Again, thedadedge.com/1405. Gentlemen, from my heart to yours, take care and live legendary.